Elba Howe came to Dearborn in 1864, was the station master at the Michigan Central Railroad, kind of Michigan and military basically. He also had a general store at the railroad, and he began to stock coffins for local farmers and started to assist them in burying their loved ones. And in 1873, Elba's son Lewis Howe was born, and Elba Howe hung a sign, Howe and Son Funeral Directors, in 1873. So that was really our beginning. In about 1906, Louis Howe took over the funeral home. Again, still kind of storefront, Michigan and military, just on the other side of military now. And then in 1928, Louis entered into a partnership with Edwin Peterson, and they moved into the former Howe residence, basically directly across Michigan Avenue from where we sit today at the corner of Michigan and Howe Street. Edwin moved the funeral home over here to this side of the street approximately 1948. Initially, Doc Yates's house and medical practice. So his family lived upstairs and his medical practice was on the main level. And then there were two additions added on to what was the original house and then duplex, and has continued to operate in this location since then. So from the front lobby, kind of there's that long hallway. That was all an add-on. So the first edition over here, lower level garage. Second edition, lower level public lounge. Then the event space we have upstairs now that we're using as a reception space, that was all added on. I think like it was 52 and 58 that the two additions were on. From Howe Street, there's a porch with double doors, little coach lamp on each side of it. That was the entrance into the original funeral home, was right there. Edwin, in 1962, built and opened our Taylor location on Telegraph Road, and shortly after that, Edwin passed away, and his son, Joe Peterson, took over the operation. And it was Joe that built our current Taylor location, which is across the street, little diagonally, but across the street from where it was originally located in 1962. Joe built that funeral home in 1988. It opened in 1989. The funeral home was then operated by his son, Eric, and after Eric's passing in 2015, we began an ownership transition, and I took over ownership officially in 2017 after working for 3 generations of the Peterson family. So high school senior, took the ASVAB, a military aptitude test. Career choice number 1 was Marine Corps officer.
You will not laugh, you will not cry, you will learn by the numbers, I will teach you.
And some people still think that I act like a Marine Corps officer. But number 2 was funeral director, and that it intrigued me. Just began researching, the education, the licensure, the residency, what do funeral directors do, that kind of stuff. And I got an athletic scholarship to Wayne State University. And going through the course catalog, again, to date myself, it was literally a paper catalog about that thick of all the different degrees and so on that they offered, and I came across mortuary science. Looked at the classes, I would be intrigued. I was intrigued, right? Sciences, social sciences, business law, contract law, psychology, sociology, the anatomy, biology, micro, chem. I thought it would be interesting because there would always be something different, not all of the same thing. I went and talked to the program director, Dr. Gordon Rose, at that point in time. He encouraged me to talk to 5 local funeral directors, and so I did. And so as an 18-year-old high school senior, 4 of those funeral directors told me, don't do it. You'll hate your life. It's 24/7, 365, nights, weekends, holidays. You're going to miss family functions. You're going to miss family holidays. You're going to work long hours. It's incredibly stressful. But the fifth funeral director I talked to was Howe Peterson. And Joe actually spent 3 days with me. And he showed me every facet of funeral service: transfer, embalming, presentation, arrangements. And at the end of those 3 days, he said to me, when you get in your last year of school, you give me a call, I'll give you a job. And so 5 years later, my last year of school, I was on a delayed program. I gave him a call and I said, I don't know if you remember me. And he said, tall guy, football player, pinstripe suit, cowboy boots. And I said, yes, sir, that was me. And he said, when do you want to start? And I literally started 5 days later and have been here since. And I cannot imagine doing anything else in my life. The Howe Peterson way is what does make us different and what we believe better than our competition. It's the way that we do things. First and foremost, the way we care for decedents. We pride ourselves on transferring the care of a loved one to us. We do all of our own preparation work. We have no outside contractors coming in to perform embalming or our signature care. That's all done in-house. And with that, our care center team is incredibly proud in 2023, based upon the Funeral Service Research Group, which surveys client families across the country. We were rated number 4 in the United States on presentation of deceased as nearly 98% excellent. And so I think that's one of the pieces of the Howe Peterson way. When you walk through our doors, there is always somebody there to greet you, whether you're a client, family, or a guest. We pride ourselves on what we refer to as stand, greet, and escort. We have what we call our roadmap to success, and that's the Howe Peterson cycle of excellence. Our reputation is everything, so we have to guard it at all costs. It's our process of how we answer the phone, how we greet families, how we greet guests, how we do a transfer, how we do that preparation or our signature care, how we conduct a planning conference, how we conduct a visitation, a memorial gathering, a ceremony, a reception service, how we follow up after we've completed those services and care for the family. It doesn't end just because the service ends. We actually have a 12-month program of caring for families. Think about today how geographically extended families are today. We can take care of it, all of it for you here. This is the only place you got to go. You can go right on our website and make all of your arrangements. Everything is there for you that you need to do, and click submit, including a merchandise selection room, any merchandise that you may need, whether it's a burial casket, outer burial container, cremation casket, urn, a cremation alternative container, keepsake urns, keepsake jewelry, and our reception services. It's all on our website. Right? You can do it all, that way. We started offering live streaming, recording, and posting to our website in 2005. Not very many people did it then, right? Between 2005 and 2020. But thankfully in 2020, we already had everything we needed. We had the technology, we had the capability, we had, again, over 15 years, we had some experience in doing it. My goal is, how do we get to the next generation? So for me, is that the next 7 years, the next 10 years, the next 12 years, right? How do I prepare the next generation so that we continue to serve and operate as an independent, family-owned local business? Right? That's what's next for me. For me, that's what I believe is next for Howe Peterson. We have to continue to evolve the Howe Peterson way to meet the changing consumer preferences. Holding true to our values of honesty, integrity, compassion, and professionalism, and find ways, right? How do we broaden our reach to people in our communities with the Howe Peterson way? I see, a bright future for us to, we continue to increase our market share in the communities that we serve. We continue to achieve results better than we achieved the year prior, whether that's our client family surveys, whether that's the number of advanced funeral planning leads, whether that's, capturing researcher calls, again, by consumer preference survey. We know that there's a growing percentage of consumers that will call more than one funeral home. By continuing to improve our website, that's our virtual front door, having that social media presence. The world is driven today on 30 and 60-second videos. We're building a library of those to have on our website, our YouTube channel, on our social media platforms. I'm just trying to build a big enough library that we can start releasing one every single week, and I don't have to worry about producing one for next week, right? I got enough in the bag to be able to do that. We have requirements that the state does not necessarily have of funeral directors, of mandatory continuing education. For our staff, it's been a required since 2005. And again, because we want the very best professionals to care for the families that have entrusted us to care for their loved one and care for their family. So that's, just kind of a snapshot of the Howe Peterson way. I think it really speaks to, we believe we're a group of people who share a passion to help others. We believe every human being deserves dignity and care when leaving this world. And we believe every family who has experienced the darkness of a death deserves to see a light in us through our professional direction and expert guidance. It's just an amazing opportunity to care for decedents, to care for their families, to help them take their first steps in the grieving process. I tell our staff today, right, we have an amazing opportunity to impact another human being's life one day at a time. And I can't imagine doing anything else. I'm so incredibly grateful for having the career that I've had.